Radiant team, ban.
Hello guys and girls, welcome to the MASCA CyberWars Game 2 of the Grand Final, Best of 5 Grand Final between RAD and BoysBoys. For those of you just joining us, I am your caster, Only Logic. First game went absolutely amazingly towards RAD. Thank you to everybody that's participating in the Twitch. I love to see you guys chatting. I love reading what it is there. I'm sorry I can't participate more so in that. I would at every other stream that I do, but I'm trying to stay very professional for this cast here. That I have been given the privilege of casting thanks to the Malaysian Students' Council of Australia. So what went down first game? RAD, well, they pushed. They didn't win team fights. They just engaged well, got some kills, got some pig-offs, and pushed. And then in the late game, of course they won team fights. They were much better farmed. And that's basically how it happened. BoysBoys just couldn't compete. Lycan is a fast first pick here by RAD, noting that it isn't actually part of the pool. Meanwhile, they've sort of switched teams, haven't they? Really Angry Daniel picking up the Lycan and the Shadow Shaman, while BoysBoys pick up the Tidehunter and Witch Doctor, big teamfight heroes. It looks like BoysBoys understand their power in terms of teamfight, and now they want to not focus so much on the pushing. They know that RAD can counter their pushing strategy, so now they want to focus on the team fight, and we can see that RAD have actually turned it around. RAD have actually gone for the big pushes. They've gone for Lycan. Very, very strong pusher. Some of you might be wondering, why is Lycan a strong pusher? Well, much like Dragon Knight, he excels hugely at a brief portion in the game. He can melt towers when he's in his, I've forgotten what it's called, a shapeshift. When he's in a shapeshift form, when he's a werewolf, as well as his wolves. Not quite as many as, say, Treants, for example. So not great at tanking towers, but with a creep wave, he's very, very strong at pushing towers. And that's what makes him a strong pusher. Shadow Shaman, we saw him do work in the last game. We saw him clear creep waves with that Ether Shock. We saw him clear towers with that Mass Serpent Wards. And that's why he's considered such a strong pusher. On the side of BoysBoys, we've got a Tidehunter and a Witch Doctor. We saw their teamfight presence in the last game, but let's go through the bans. We've seen a Pugna ban, as well as a Death Prophet ban in this game. Bans that we haven't seen in any other game, but picks that we saw last game, as well as the game before, Nature's Prophet coming out quite prominently. And on the side of RAD, they've actually blocked out the Naga Siren, knowing that BoysBoys are going for a heavy teamfight lineup, as well as the Ember Spirit, purely because he is one of those annoyingly strong mid-heroes. BoysBoys take this opportunity to pick out the Mirana, not necessarily a strong teamfight hero, but with an ability that is able to get Tidehunter and Witch Doctor into the position they need to be to really fight off RAD, and because of that, they're going to have to be very, very careful with their positioning.
5 seconds remaining.
Not only their positioning, but they can't go into teamfights all willy-nilly. They're going to need to carry around wards. They're going to need to carry around dust, just to make sure that they're not initiated upon in bad circumstances. RAD doing the usual, taking their time with their third pick, Lich. I love Lich. I think he's an amazing support. I love playing with him. I don't really like playing against him, but it means that Lich is very, very strong against a teamfight hero. Why? Because teamfight heroes like to cluster up. They like to go all in, all at once, nice and close, and then stick around in a teamfight and deal a lot of big damage. And Lich is a very, very strong counter to that. Not to mention, he's got teamfight potential himself. Especially when comboed with something like a Darkseer or even a Magnus, that Chain Frost deals a lot of damage. And once he gets an Ags, once he gets an Aghanim Scepter, then the damage is just even bigger. RAD now picking up the Bristleback, so they've pulled back a little bit from the all-out rush at towers strategy, and now they're trying to counter whatever it is that BoysBoys are doing. Sven can't really get a big hit on Bristleback, but he can stun him so that he's facing him. But if Bristleback is running away, Sven's damage isn't nearly as high. Not to mention Bristleback can chip away at the weaker heroes such as Mirana and Witch Doctor, as well as prevent them from getting away too quickly. And Nasal Goo is a very good counter to Warcry when chasing that Sven if his cooldown is off. Final ban coming out from BoysBoys is the Razor. We've seen Rad play the Razor to great effect. Maybe Rad weren't thinking of taking a Razor. Maybe they're thinking of going for something different. I think they've got two supports, a carry and off lane. Now they're going to need a strong mid, and it looks like Magnus is the counter pick mid to prevent that Magnus Lich Shadow Shaman combo, and even with Bristleback. But instead they go for the Templar Assassin, the Chaser. This lineup now from Rad is a little bit obscure, it's a little bit all over the place, whereas BoysBoys lineup, sorry, is definitely a team fight lineup. And just like I mentioned it last game, just like I mentioned it last game, how BoysBoys didn't have a particularly notable lineup, they just had a little bit of everything. Rad have now taken that lineup, and I'm going to put them not in favour of winning this game based on the draft, but it really depends on how well those heroes are played. BoysBoys on the south side are moving all grouped up, and they have smoked. They have smoked, and now they're moving up into the Rad jungle, but maybe Rad is going to be aware of this and they're not going to let it happen like it happened last game. Obiter is going to have to be really, really careful about his positioning. He can't walk too far into the jungle. He needs to be close to Bloodstruck, and even to Virgil, I don't like him even moving in this far in, especially with Me So Horny being well out of position and the smoke gank coming in. Me So Horny is going to have to get out of position, and they've noticed it there, and he hasn't noticed it in time, and that's going to result in his death. First blood goes to X4 by killing that Lycan. Oh, that is absolutely terrible.
The Rogue's thanks be with you.
Thank you, Only Logic. Oh my goodness. Okay, first blood. Let's introduce these teams. On the side of BoysBoys, we've got Video James playing the support Witch Doctor. Iviv is on the carry Sven, who's going to be secondary supported by Mirana. In the mid lane, we've got Rylan on that Magnus and a solo offlane X4. And we see how good Tidehunter is as an offlane hero. And I have an idea of how good X4 is as an offlane player. He's pretty good. Meanwhile, here on the top, on the side of Radical, Me So Horny is going to be playing the carry Lycan. Obiter being supported by Obiter on the Shadow Shaman, and Bloodstruck on the Lich. In the mid lane, Virgil is coming up against the Magnus on Templar Assassin, and in the bottom lane you're going to have a solo off lane Rad Big Cow, who's going to have to play it very, very cautiously against heroes like Video James, but he is able to deal a little bit of harass damage. And you can see that the harass damage is already quite high. If he keeps that up, which he even might be able to, he actually might even be able to get the kill here if he plays it very carefully. Let's take a look at the last hits on the chart here.
No, you don't.
Rylan taking a little bit of damage from Rad, but we can see that Iviv, the hard carry, is at the top of the right of the last hit chain, and he's not going to be able to get that one. And the mid heroes, both of which are fighting off against each other, but that Magnus is winning by a mile, having more denies and last hits. Virgil just not being on his game today, but we have called BoysBoys before for being better right clickers. And better farmers in the lane, just not only in the lane, but better farmers just generally. So a really good pull by X4 to prevent that stack from moving across, which means that the lane is going to shift towards him. because that pull through didn't exist, and these creeps are going to go under tower, which is going to make it harder to last hit, while these creeps are going to move right to about here-ish and make it very, very easy for Tidehunter to get a few easy last hits. Virgil already with his bottle, he's going to be able to grab the double damage rune, and with that double damage rune he might even be able to make a move on Magnus, although I highly doubt it. I was thinking maybe even should move top, try and get an easy kill on Tidehunter, but even then, it doesn't look to be the case that that's going to happen. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we've got Big Cow with 0 last hits still here. He's having to play it very, very safe, and you can see he's going to be caught out, and the arrow is going to come in, and of course all of the combo there means that there's going to be enough right-click damage to kill him, and that is the problem with playing a solo off-lane Bristleback. It's that if you're facing in the wrong direction, you do die reasonably easily, but he's going to spawn and immediately TP down into the bottom lane. So BoysBoys putting a lot of pressure early on in this game. A lot of the thing about this game, though, is morale and how teams feel that they're playing. And this shouldn't bring down how the teams feel. So now it's X4's turn. And it looks like he might be the offlane hero. Obita has come in. They're going to do a lot of right-click damage. They're going to be able to get X4. Lycan with a howl gets the final last hit. So it turns out to be completely even. RAD versus BB. Even though Virgil isn't putting nearly enough pressure with this double damage rune for reasons completely unbeknownst to me. Virgil's last hitting just not quite matching that Magnus, who does have his bottle but needs to be very careful with the uses on his bottle. Dire Ward spotting that out here now and being outside of range, so maybe Big Cow will be able to be a little bit cautious about how he goes. He wants to go for Video James. He's going to try and put pressure on him, but if does actually have enough for a stun. Oh, Big Cow coming very, very close to getting the solo kill there, but Witch Doctor popping his salve and being able to heal up there. And this puts Bristleback in a bad position because he can no longer use his Quill Spray for right clicks. Bloodstruck is going to come in from the river, and is he going to harass? He is going to harass X4. He's going to try and push him right out of lane and do a very good job of it, and that's why I like Lich. Oh, and Bristleback ends up going down thanks to the rotation from the Mirana using her arrow. This is why the Bristleback has to play very, very safely while that Mirana is missing. 3-1 in favour of BoysBoys versus Radical in this game. X4 going for Obita. X4 is going to be picked off again. Bloodstruck going to deal the damage, and then he's going to body block him. Good body blocking coming here by Bloodstruck. Very good body blocking to get another off-lane kill. Off-lane heroes not doing particularly great this game. In the mid, still being won by Magnus. Oh no, it's actually very close. Magnus is level 6, but Virgil is going to get probably to level 6 with this next couple of last hits here from the creeps. Yes, she is. So it's actually very, very close here in the mid lane, and that's going to let Magnus know that Virgil has just hit level 6. Oh, did Tidehunter go down a third time? Tidehunter going down a third time after a bit of a tower dive, and now they want to push this lane. Does Obita have level 6? No, he's only level 4. I thought it was a little bit early for him to have level 6. But either way, they're going to try and put a lot of pressure onto this tower. And Ryland's going to pause the game. A little bit bad timing on the pause here, but it doesn't matter because Big Cow is not in a great position. Big Cow, if he's smart, might be able to avoid this. Elks has the leap, but he doesn't have. He's only got 1 point in Bristleback, so if he was smart about it, he might even be able to do it. Looks like the captain's going to be kicked out from the team. Little bit of discussion here. Looks like one of the players is busy. Big thank you to everyone that's watching me on my Twitch. If you'd like to see more of this sort of content, hit that follow button. Why? Because on Sunday it is the Barracks LAN. I will be casting my second LAN tournament, actually. Or well, my first full LAN tournament, but my second LAN event. in essence, and I'll be really looking forward to it. It's going to be the best that the Canberra scene has to offer, and we're going to be having some Sydney teams as well as Avant YMC coming in from Sydney or Melbourne, can't remember, I think Sydney, pretty sure it's Sydney, coming in from Sydney, but they've got a little bit of a name internationally, and they'll be playing in our tiny scene. So now Big Cow running away from the team, walking right into the tower. He might have actually been able to run away from that.
Tower is under attack.
Does get a salve off, but is hit by the tower again. Tries to cast some coil spray, isn't able to get much damage done there. Okay, let's take a quick look at the graphs here. Experience going up and down on the side of BoysBoys and Radical, and gold going up and down. And I don't know what this plateau here. I honestly have no idea why this plateau. I wonder if it counted the pause. Yeah. No idea. And Ryland's still doing a good job of staying top of the last hits here, but Virgil also being very good in the mid lane here. And getting unlucky on that tower damage. No towers being pushed yet from either side, either BoysBoys or Radical, something which is quite unusual. It looks like both teams are deciding to play for the late game, even though they're still getting some ganks in.
Denied.
Mid lane Virgil is going to have to play very, very careful because Bloodstruck is here. I don't think that they'll be able to get a kill on this Rylan. I think Rylan might also be quite aware of the fact that Lich is just sticking around in the midfield, but he's currently not accomplishing anything being here. He's going to need to go into a lane and try and lead some experience to get his level 6, or at least some gold to be able to buy wards and finish off his boots. Meanwhile, where did Magnus go? Magnus went into the top lane. It was like he TP'd into the top lane. And Miso Horny, that Lycan just using his ult, and he's just going to run back to base. Bloodstruck coming in here. He casts his ult. Not his ult, sorry. He casts a Frost Shock. But Rylan doesn't actually have his ultimate. Maybe if he uses his wand. Actually, if he uses his wand, he's definitely got his ultimate. A lot of damage coming out onto Rylan here. Obita has to play very, very carefully. He gets shockwaved down by just playing uncarefully. That takes it to 5-3 on the side of BoysBoys.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Templar Assassin getting a double damage rune, probably one of the best runes that Templar Assassin can get, and the phase boots is up as well. Let's take a look at net worth. Let's switch this over to net worth, and we can see that Miso Horny has been farming very effectively as well as Iviv, but these two heroes are going to need to be cancelled out. And that's something that's simply not happening in Iviv. What did Iviv just get? He's just finished up his boots, and he's got a Hand of Midas. This is not looking good for BoysBoys. For RAD. Teamfight stage of the game hasn't quite come yet. Magnus is more than enough to pull out his combo now. The question is, does he want to go in, or does he just want to farm up his Blink Dagger? And by using that Shockwave, I think it's given a pretty good idea of how he just wants to farm out that Blink Dagger so that he can have a teamfight potential later on in the game. Bristleback missing a lot of last hits there, and we can see that because he is currently 9-2. He does still have really low damage as well, with a 66 damage there. Templar Assassin pops a double damage rune and tries to use her meld, but doesn't get it off in time, unfortunately. Not to mention Video James as well as Elks are there to be in position to fight that Templar Assassin if necessary. In the top lane, Miso Horny deciding that he does want to push this tower, and he's going to take one tower hit? Yeah, just one tower hit. Oh, and Virgil doing a lot of damage onto Rylan. Rylan having to play very, very carefully, but he does get the haste rune in the top lane there, which means that he's able to refill his bottle. Shadow Shaman going very, very low to dead, probably from being in this lane, although I'm not sure what from. Both mid heroes still playing the defensive mid roles. No towers going down yet. For anyone who's just joined us, this is BoysBoys versus RAD, the Grand Finals for the MASCA CyberWars Dota 2 tournament. It's run by ANU students. Thank you very much to them. The Howl has come out. X4 is going to come in to try and defend this. Maybe. No, the creeps are going to come in. There's going to be a TP, but they should really turn around and fight this. Yes, they're going to turn around and fight this. Ryland does have his haste rune, though. One more right click from Miso Horny. It doesn't matter. The ultimate is coming from Lich. Will it be enough? No, it won't be enough. Good bottle charges by Magnus there, actually, to save him. With Obiter, I think he did use his shackles, but something must have interrupted him. Either way, tower goes down, and it goes down to the Dire, so nobody getting the last hit on that tower. But that's the first tower going in favour of RAD. What is this going to do to the gold graphs? It's going to bring it hugely in favour of the gold graphs, even though it's not really in anybody's favour yet. It's sort of just been floating between up and down. An attempted arrow is going to come out to try and hit Virgil. Just one of those psych out arrows, really. But ultimately not doing anything. Bloodstruck is going to check the Roshan pit. And Miso Horny and Bloodstruck are going to walk in and they're going to try and get... Oh, Vladimir's already on the Lycan, which means that they might even be able to go for Roshan nice and quickly by using that Howl. You can see that it does actually give the bonus damage, and it's a reasonably large amount of bonus damage. But he won't have it for a long, long time. Either way, that Vlad's is going to help him to keep it. Video James has been pinged out. Virgil wants to go in for Video James. And Bloodstruck is going to go in as well, but Virgil is going to be able to get the kill. He does end up getting the kill while Lycan is still in the Roshan pit. Will Lycan be able to get this kill nice and quickly? Yes, he will be able to as Virgil comes in, but the entirety of BoysBoys is there. Virgil does tank the damage. The ultimate coming out. Miso Horny is going to go down after popping his ultimate. Not very good. Virgil not in a great position. He does get his Blink Dagger though. Will he be able to go in? Miso Horny probably should turn around and fight this. Ultimate coming in, picking out Virgil as well as Miso Horny. And then a lot of damage coming in. Miso Horny going down, and Iviv trying to turn around and fight this. He's gone for Obiter. They've dealt a lot of damage. Virgil is still up though. He's still trying to deal the damage. He's going to try and chase Iviv, but he's not going to be able to get the stun off. Iviv turns it around. Caking Tower hits, and then he does finally go down. Virgil going down to the Witch Doctor as well. So that's a 3-for-1 kill, and Big Cow having to move right away to try and avoid Ryland, who doesn't yet have his Blink Dagger. But a good turnaround by BoysBoys to make that team fight in their favour. 8-7 on the side of BoysBoys. Let's take a quick look at the XP and gold grass after that. Oh, actually going in favour of Radical. Still going in favour to Radical after the Roshan kill, even though we did see 3 of their players die.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So is that a bug? No, he's actually genuinely got a Smoke of Deceit. And Mirana's just playing very, very safe. So Bloodstruck wants to use a Smoke of Deceit to get right out of position. Now they're going for the top lane. Video James has tried to go in for Obiter. Obiter's not in a good position. One more right click is going to do it, but X4 isn't able to get it off. And the ultimate's going to come out by Obiter, and they're going to turn this around. They're going to be able to get the Tidehunter. Are they going to move down onto the other heroes? No. Good communication coming out by Radical, which means that there just shows that they are in contention to actually win this grand final. Big plays coming out from both of the teams.
You never.
With the net worth still highly on top. Oh my goodness, no, I take that back. It's just been taken over by Virgil, getting very good farm. Very good farm in the mid lane. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they've tried to go in for X4. Big Cow wants to turn and he wants to fight this, but now that there's been a TP, he won't be able to turn and fight this. And the ultimate's going to come in, thinking that the TP was going to be there, but alas, the TP was cancelled and it gets a creep. Lich is just going to have to back out, and so is Big Cow. Big Cow's going to have to play it very, very safe because there's 3 heroes here. Big Cow's not in a good position. Bloodstruck's going to try and deal damage to Elks, but Eviv's going to turn around, and they're going to go for Bloodstruck, but good response by Obiter, who's just going to turn around, and now the Marana ultimate is going to come out. They cast an ultimate, the arrow comes out, they're trying to go for Big Cow, but alas, it's not going to happen. Eviv's so close to dead. X4 comes in with the ultimate. He gets almost everyone. Obiter is the first one to go down, and now they go for X4. Will they be able to finally get this? One more right click. He doesn't have a wand. Miso Horny comes in. He gets the kill, and now they want to go for Elks, who does dodge it. Iviv very, very low behind the tower. Miso Horny is going to continue running. Is he going to come in behind the tower? Behind the tower. Is he going to go in? It's here. Here. No, they're just going to go for the tower, and Iviv is just going to wait till he's got enough mana for his town portal scroll. And the arrow, Miso Horny walking right into that arrow. That's going to deal a lot of damage. He's going to have to try and click a creep. Yes. Oh, Virgil getting a killing spree. Not sure where he got the killing spree out from. Elks in the position there. Big Cow also putting a lot of pressure on this tower as Bloodstruck move up. So what happened there? That happened right here. Templar Assassin doing a good job of chasing, and now the Shadow Shaman wards have come out, and Rad is putting the pressure on BoysBoys, and now they're pushing down this mid tower as well. And Ryland's going to try and come in, but as long as they're separated, it doesn't really matter. Obiter just has to be in a good position. Magnus getting the deny! Magnus getting the deny on the middle tower. Amazingly well played by Magnus on BoysBoys to really deny him of that much needed gold. 4,000 in terms of XP, 4,000 in gold, both going in the way of Radical. By no means is it one team's win yet. But it is hugely in favour of Radical, and we just need to wait and see where this game goes as it progresses. RAD are deciding that they want to put the pressure on the bottom tower now, even though they don't have the Shadow Shaman wards. Lycan's ult is up. And you can see that the Howl comes out to put a lot of pressure on this bottom tower. And is the deny going to come out? No, Lycan does get it this time, and RAD can just be happy with that kill and can back off. Or can they? Do they want to go in? X4, Tidehunter has only got his Ravage in 11 seconds. RAD must have some idea that that Ravage is very, very close to being taken. To being off cooldown, I should say. And Virgil is just waiting for somebody, probably waiting for this courier. My goodness, if Virgil can come in here, if Virgil can get the courier, this is going to be huge! Huge! Courier taken by Virgil! Amazingly played, pings coming out. Good movement by Virgil to get the courier there. BoysBoys, this is not looking good for them. That's a lot of gold. Miso Horny still with his ult up. What about the ult from Obiter? The ult from Obiter up as well. So the tower push is a little bit pointless from BoysBoys because they can't really do much. And Iviv has to be very, very careful. He's just getting into position to use his Hand of Midas. Jump in by Rylan. Unfortunately, he only gets 2. The ultimate is going to come out as well. X4 is going to come in. Huge teamfight potential, as we can see from there. Big Cow is going to have to run off. And the stun's going to come up very, very shortly. Good body blocking by Rylan. He's able to go for Big Cow. Iviv gets a double kill. And the only one alive is the Virgil, who wasn't participating in the team fight. So now they know, now everyone knows the team fight potential from BoysBoys. And that makes it 13-11. And Virgil is going to keep putting pressure on this tower. But with a TP coming in, he's going to blink right out of there. Tidehunter may still be able to go in, but Virgil is just going to keep running away. Rylan wants to chase this, however. Virgil's just going to TP into the top lane and farm up a little bit. Bloodstruck, looks like his Bloodstruck is going to join him. He's going to place... Oh, a ward there, and he's going to be missed by Rylan. And Rylan's going to wonder, do I go back in? Do I stay out? No, I don't know. Probably best to just go back into lane, Rylan, after missing the skewer. So good split pushing by Radical. Let's take a quick look at the graph after that team fight. Oh, huge jump up to BoysBoys, even on the gold graph. Not so huge, but still quite a big jump up to BoysBoys there. The question is, does Virgil feel confident enough to go for Iviv? That's a lot of damage already. Oh, huge damage coming out, and looks like he does want to go for Iviv. He's going to blink in, he's going to meld, but the stun's going to come in. But Virgil does have his haste rune. I feel like he should jump back in, but he's not going to. He's just going to pop his haste rune and just going to say, well, you had to use your war cry, you had to turn around, you used your stun. Doesn't make much of a difference, but hey, I almost got a solo kill on you, and all of the TPs came out from BoysBoys to try and prevent that. So a lot of pressure coming out from RAD in all of the lanes. It's a weird sound coming out from that. I wonder if that's from his genuine The Fear Maker. There you go. Some items that this guy has, I'll tell you what. Genuine Rogue at Arms. Genuine The Rogue Helm. For those of you who have just joined us, this is the MASCA CyberWars Grand Final between BoysBoys and Radical. BoysBoys went down into the lower bracket reasonably early. Fought through the lower bracket. Came up against a team that almost beat them, actually. A team of a new team that we've actually seen in the scene, which was the Southeast Asian Rejects. And actually made quite a bit of a presence on BoysBoys. Radical, on the other hand, have been on the upper bracket the entire game, the entire tournament, I should say. They haven't dropped a game, partly due to default, but they've been doing really, really well. And the pings have come out. BoysBoys must know that there's something happening here, and Virgil using that to try and kill the Magnus there, but SCAR know what, not SCAR, sorry, BoysBoys know what's going on, and X4 wants to go in, and X4 does have his Ravage, and now he has gone in, but it won't make a difference. Oh, will it make a difference? Ryland going in, and will they be able to steal the Aegis? The Aegis taken by the Magnus. Miso Horny not getting the Aegis. The Lich ult coming out, but it's not going to deal that much damage as Iviv comes in and cleans up, grabbing a double kill with the help of that Magnus, and now he's going to be able to follow up onto Big Cow. Will he be able to follow up on Big Cow? Big Cow just wants to fight him. Ryland tries to go in, but he's not able to get it, and Elks is going to go in and try and get the kill. That one right click might just be enough. Oh no, popping the magic wand to be able to survive there. Oh, and Iviv actually going really, really low.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's Finn actually going really, really low, and the middle tower is going to fall, so a huge team fight going the way of BoysBoys. Let's take another quick look at the graphs there. We can see as Radical tries to bring it back, BoysBoys force it in their direction, and that's because of their really, really strong team fight. So all round good team fights coming out from both teams, with BoysBoys just getting the upper hand in that last one. But the main thing there was the fact that the Aegis was then taken by Magnus. I don't know if Roshan went down to the Dire as well. I don't think it did, because it didn't... sorry, to the Radiant, I should say. I don't think it did because of the difference in the stats there. We can see that Radical's still plateauing down the bottom there. Haste rune being pinged out by someone.
You came too close to the sea.
Either way, Virgil getting an easy kill on the Witch Doctor, taking it 16-14. Do you like this cast? I hope you like this cast. If you do like this cast, I would love to see you guys hit that follow button on my Twitch. And if you're watching this game, all of this will be up on YouTube, youtube.com/GoingOnlyLogical, or you can just search for Only Logic on YouTube. And on Facebook, of course, that's where I keep all of my updates, facebook.com/OnlyLogicGaming. Oh, my voice is getting a little bit tired after all of this casting, and I need to prepare myself for the Barracks LAN on Sunday. I think it's going to be a great event. If you're interested in watching the best of Canberra Dota, both RAD and BoysBoys will be at the Barracks LAN, and they'll be bringing their best stuff and trying to make a lot of big plays happen. So if you want to watch them play some big Sydney teams and see how they compete against the rest of the Canberra scene, well, all you have to do is hit that follow button. Net worth going in favour of Sven here, who's farming up a lot. He's got his Crystallis, so you can see that although he doesn't have defensive items, he's got huge damage, but that's a little bit alright, seeing as there's quite a lot of lockdown in terms of Tidehunter, in terms of Magnus, and Sven himself with the stun. But Obita's going to go on him, and the fact that he doesn't have much defense is actually going to cost him. That's 585 gold going to that Shadow Shaman, and that will make a difference because it means that Shadow Shaman will be working towards his blink. Oh, he's got his blink. Either way, it's going to accelerate him in whatever supportive item he wants to get for his team, and that brings it up to 15, 16 to 15, and if we take a look at the graphs, it's actually going to be drawn down to Radical. So Radical picking up their snowball now by getting little pickoffs like that. In the bottom lane, it looks like Rad might be deciding to push, but the counter push coming up by Rylan is way too strong. So Big Cow is just gonna steal the Ancients, and there's no push that's actually going to happen. And you can see that BoysBoys are forced to sort of fight as 5 and farm as 5, and that's ultimately going to end up hurting their farm. And we can see that because of the split pushing happening by Virgil, it means that one of the towers is going to go down with minimal congestion. I'm So Horny is going to run off, and Bloodstruck is going to try and turn around and fight this. No, but they're going to go for the Illusion Rune instead. BoysBoys not following up. Wait, what was that? Top tower being denied by Sven. Here in the top lane. Oh, and Shadow Shaman has been picked out by Radical, and Virgil's going to stick around here as well, but with the wards going out, Virgil's going to try and run away, and now... Oh! And there's actually no detection.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And he is going to blink away there by Templar Assassin because of the lack of detection. So he does get out, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. Very good trade for Rad there. Both of which gave 299 gold, but most importantly, this tower is going to go down, and the wards are going to be fought towards X4 just as they disappear. So Rad putting a lot of pressure on all of the towers, and this is the opposite that we see to every other game. What happened to BoysBoys' pushing power? What happened to BoysBoys' constant effect in this game? Ryland's going to try and run away, and then be able to blink away actually. So he's going to be stunned up again. They're going to go in for him. They're going to be able to actually kill Ryland, but just a little bit of farm going to Bloodstruck there, who's going to have to get out of the way. Bloodstruck is going to four-staff himself away and not bring him to his teammates. Virgil popping the haste rune. He wants to go in. He's going straight on Obita. Not on Obita, sorry, on Elks. And Obita dodging the ward there, and he's being pinged out from there, and you can see that he's just trying to kill this quick wave, and X4 is coming in from behind. Is he going to blink in? Rylan missing the skewer once again. Bloodstruck coming in from behind. Finally the ultimate coming out. They want to go in for Obita. Rylan's going to come in, but there's no damage out yet. X4 coming so close to dying, but not quite dead yet. The right click's coming out. Will Virgil be able to get out? No, he won't be able to get out. That's 2 kills going in favor of BoysBoys, with no kills going in favor of Radical. Oh, and Sven killing the Lycan as well in the bottom lane here. With this barracks very, very low. And there's nobody there to finish it off. And it looks like it is going to regen pretty much all of its health by the time the next creep waves comes in. He wants you to deny it. Looks like it's not going to happen. All the pings coming out.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Elk sticking around here and being in bad position. Brad Big Cow wants to go in, although he should be aware that Magnus is there, and he's going to be really, really careful, and the arrow's just going to miss.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ooh, okay. I've just been informed that Roshan's going to be up in 3 minutes. No, I take that back. Roshan's going to be up in 1.5 minutes. 1 minute and a half for the Roshan pit, which means that neither team will be able to do it. What's happening? Big Cow is TPing upwards. Everyone's TPing upwards. They want to really make something happen with this Lycan. Obida has picked out Rylan, and he's been ward trapped. Obida's going to need to walk away, though. Rylan is able to TP away, and he's going to be followed by that orb.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I wonder if he knows it's coming to him. I wonder if he's going to walk away. Either way, in the top lane, RAD are going to try and turn this around. They're going to be able to get the Sven. That is a huge kill. Everyone TPing into that lane. Is a deny going to come out? Where's the deny? Where's the deny? Templar Assassin denying that top tower, and then they're able to push this. So that's a 1-for-1 huge trade going in favor of Radical that time, with more gold coming out of Sven. Let's take a quick look at the XP graphs again. Oh, the XP has jumped right up to BoysBoys. So they actually are turning this around with these team fights, but the gold still hugely in favor of Radical because of their immense pushing power. In the mid lane, it looks like BoysBoys really want to push this. Obida's going to have to be very careful with his positioning. Bottom tower is going to go down. Miso Horny wants to push this bottom tower as well. The question is, how's the barracks here? It's already half health. After the next push, mega kill going out onto Rylan, and Rylan's going to now TP back. Is Elk's going to go in? Bloodstruck is going to have to pay very careful attention, and that's just going to be chipped away at while RAD just back off there. And was that an ultimate used by Rylan? The ultimate used by Rylan on the TPing Lycan. Oh, doesn't get the kill. Lycan on 5,100 gold and a Necro 3, but what does he want to buy? Why hasn't he bought anything? Has he decided that he's just going to save up his gold? Does he want to get something? Looks like he's going in here. Is he going to decide to buy something? Maybe something like an a blade, what's it called? An Abyssal Blade would go really, really well, especially with a Basher. The Howl coming out, but you can see the huge amount of damage as well as the minus armor from the Desolator means that it's going to fall super quickly, and Big Cow is going to take the cheese. And he does get a Reaver, so it looks like he might be going for a Heart. I can't think of anything else that the Reaver builds into that would be useful except for the Satanic, but he would have had to have gone for the Helm of the Dominator for the Satanic, so it looks like he is building into a Heart, which gives him more damage as well as more survivability as well as more tank ability, probably to fight off the sheer strength of the right click of that Sven. Now RAD have moved into the bottom lane. They want to push out this bottom lane again, but the Lycan looks like the Lycan's going to split push the top lane. And meanwhile, Ryland's just going to use his BKB and just TP out of there. Very good response by Ryland there. Even though he does waste a charge on his BKB, which he won't be able to use for his team fight, he does get out of a tricky situation, which could have caused, which in this situation could have actually caused the win. Bloodstruck is well out of position. Bloodstruck probably placed that ward there and said, well, bother. So he's dead there. But that's a lot of heroes ganking a support Lich, not particularly very strong. Was that Lich farming for something? Yes, looks like he did want to go for an Aghanims, even though the Aghanims really wouldn't help him that much in this game. Miso Horny and Obida are deciding to push in the bottom lane. X4 pushing out his middle lane. But ultimately, Rad doing nothing. They've gone in for Iviv. Iviv has been picked out. Iviv trying to go for Obita. Alas, he's not ward blocked. And Obita's just trying to run away. Miso Horny is going to come in. He's going to try and get a couple of right clicks. And the ultimate's going to come out by X4. And he's going to try and turn this around on Miso Horny. And Miso Horny doesn't have his ult for much longer. He just needs to try and run away from there, but he's going to go for Video James. He knows his ultimate is up, and the TPs are just going to come out. BoysBoys is just going to back away from there, and Miso Horny trying to get a couple of kills, but alas, not taking the kills there. And a buyback actually coming from the Sven in the bottom lane, thanks to the push by Rad and Virgil. Virgil wants to get a kill here. Iviv turning this around. Virgil trying to get kills. He's going for Elks now. Elks dodging that final stun. Virgil using his meld again, but this time they've got wards. They're able to go for Virgil. Virgil goes down, but that's a lane of Rex. That's a lane of Rex down for BoysBoys in top lane. Miso Horny does have his ultimate, so he's trying to push down this tower, but it looks like he's not going to put a lot of pressure on it. He's just going to back up and let his wolves do the talking, or in this case, the hunting.
Regeneration.
So Mega Creeps. First Mega Creeps going to BoysBoys, even though it is going to Rad, sorry, even though it is 26-19 to BoysBoys. Let's take a look at the experience graph. Experience graph, very, very close. Very close indeed, but just slightly in favour of BoysBoys. Meanwhile, the gold, hugely in favour of Radical, and that is going to change. Let's take a quick look at the items that the heroes have. We can see that the items are greater on the side of Rad. Even in terms of the support, Big Cow already with an AC is a huge, huge deal. But if we look at the experience graph, let's look at hero level for the time being here. We can see it is very evenly dispersed. 21 going for the Templar Assassin that's dead, 20 on the Sven, closely followed 19 by the Rylan, and then 18 by the Lycan. So the Lycan just has to live through a few more team fights so that he can regain that huge experience bonus. So that he can regain that experience, I should mention. But otherwise, completely interdispersed. No clear-cut one-sided view. Not even on the net worth. Very interdispersed. And the ultimate has been used. The question is there any reveal? Dust does reveal it. Where's the... No, it's going to hit a creep. The Dust does actually pick him out. But are RAD wanting to go in? No, they're not wanting to go in. Roshan is going to be up in at least 8 minutes. And it will be the 4th Roshan kill for this team. As you can see from the score, Radical 1-0 ahead of BoysBoys, so they might actually stand a chance at winning this tournament with the state that this game is in. But Rad really do need to decide whether they're going for the GG push or whether they want to farm up more of their heroes. And now that Magnus has a refresher, this is a big, big deal for Radical. Let's see how many BKB heroes we have. Bristleback without a BKB, Lycan without a BKB, Templar Assassin does have one, Shadow Shaman does not, neither does Lich. So this is not looking good for Radical now that Magnus does have that refresher RP. Refresher reverse polarity, and it looks like 375. It looks like he does have the mana to cast it. As long as he doesn't cast anything else, he does have the mana to cast the reverse polarity with the refresher orb with the reverse polarity. And is this the GG push? Have they decided that they're going for it? The heart has been completed by Lycan, so you can see a huge burst to his damage already. Not only a burst to his damage, but also a burst to his total HP pool, as well as his regeneration. It's going to be absolutely huge now. And he's got an extra 4,000 gold that he can work towards an Abyssal Blade for. Unless he wants to go for maybe more mobility with a Sanjan Yasha. Not that I think he needs that, but if he does want to go for that. He doesn't need his AC either. He's got his level 3 Necronomicon. I'm really not sure what else he can build into. All the lanes are pushing in. Looks like Rad do want to decide to go for the GG push. They've pushed all of BB back into their base. BB just need to defend and try and look for good opportunities to go in terms of reverse polarity there. They do have to be very, very careful with how they're going in, and so do Rad, actually. So both teams not looking particularly great, and we can see that Bristleback is actually dealing a lot of damage now. Now that he's gone for his speed, he's gone for a Sanj, which means that he might go for a Sanj and Yasha, but I don't think he is. I think he's going for whatever the other thing. So he's going for a Heaven's Halberd, which will actually be really, really good for that Bristleback, because it means that he can really tank up a little bit better, seeing as that it does give the evasion. Obiter placing the sentry ward and killing the other sentry ward, as well as pointing out the other observer ward here that will be seen. Either way, the wolf goes for it just before the wolf dies. Will he be able to get it? Yes, he will, and the wolf goes down. RAD still putting a lot of pressure. They're keeping BoysBoys back at their base, and BoysBoys must be realizing that something's going on. And a scouting arrow goes out, but doesn't find anything. Bloodstruck pushing out this bottom lane, knowing that the heroes aren't in a great position. And Miso Horny has to be careful. He has to be careful about this RP. Blink in RP. Miso Horny is really out of position. Are they going to be able to go for him? He does have buyback, though. He casts his ultimate to try and get out of there, but alas, it doesn't do anything on that 5-man gank. Is he going to buy back? No, he's not going to buy back. He's just going to accept his death. BoysBoys want to turn this around, though. They want to make a fight happen. They're turning it around. They're going to the bottom lane, but Bloodstruck is just going to get the F out of there. And Obiter not in a good position either. If anyone goes in here, he dies next to immediately. He does have a TP, and I reckon he really should be using it. Should be using it to get out of there, back to base, back to defend this middle tower. Here, BoysBoys want to take the fight to the enemy. Bloodstruck sticking around here, wondering whether he should go in. The ultimate is being used. The question is, do they know something? Do they know something is up? X4 is here, but Obiter is going to be able to TP out of there. And that ultimate used very, very inefficiently. BoysBoys really wanting to put the pressure. They're sort of needing to put the pressure here. Witch Doctor does end up going down on the side of BoysBoys. Thanks to those mass serpent wards that no longer really need to be used on towers. And Big Cow is having to play a difficult fight. Bloodstruck, the question is, are they going to go in? The slow has come out as well. Rylan trying to go in, but Rylan missing the skewer again. That could have been very, very good for Iviv. And the turnaround almost seemed like something that could have happened. Alas, it did not. Let's take another quick look at the graphs. Experience still so close, but the gold graph clearly in favour of Radical here. But BoysBoys are putting in a very strong fight. They're really trying to prevent this this farming here, and pings have come out to show that Roshan is up. Now's probably not the best time to go for it. They probably want to take a tier 3 tower, or at least go for a smoke gank. But what's X4 doing? Is Radical going to come in as well? No. Oh, yes. BoysBoys are going to go in, and the pings have come out from Radical. They want to go in, but they want to wait for just the right time before they can go in. We can see that Big Cow is here. Big Cow isn't on his own, though. He's a little bit on his own. Rylan's going to use his ultimate on him. Rylan's going to bring Big Cow right in, and the Lich ultimate's going to come in, and it's not actually going to do much. They're going to go in for Bloodstruck. The orb is going to, the refresher is going to come out there, and a few more right clicks, and the 2 heroes going down, 3 heroes, 4 heroes with the Magnus, the only one up is Video James, desperately casting that ult. And he goes down as well, and now they're able to go for the Roshan. 5 kills, 5 for 1, going in favour of Radical. And they take down this Roshan so easily. Jeez, going to Virgil. Let's push out. Look at this bottom lane. Look at this bottom lane. It's pushing up here. Huge push. Let's take a quick look at buyback status. Where's buyback? No buyback. Yes, Iviv can. Elks can. Otherwise, it's no for everybody on the side of BoysBoys, which means that these towers are taking a lot of damage. We can see Rad pushing up in the middle. Rad can smell the victory. They can smell that victory is very close. Glyph is going to come out, of course. BoysBoys are just hoping that they don't push out too aggressively, but that Desolator is going to do work. Obiter isn't even using the wards. He doesn't even need to use the wards, using it up there to get the kill on the Sven. Absolutely huge plays. Now they're going to take out the second barracks. And they're going to have 2 lanes of Mega Creeps. Her buyback going to be there by Sven. And Virgil's going to go in and almost get a kill on Video James. And Iviv's going to try and go for Miso Horny, but look at the right-click damage coming out! Miso Horny going to come in, back in, he's going to keep trying to fight it, but it's very, very close to death, and he does get out with 38 HP, and Video James is trying to deal damage, but he's just not able to. That's 2 down. X4 Elks goes down as well. Virgil coming very close to getting another kill, and was that an ultimate? That was an ultimate stopped by Magnus, almost getting a kill. Second tower goes down. GG by BoysBoys. Second game goes to Radical for the MASCA CyberWars Grand Final. Huge players that we saw this game. RAD, such a close game in the early and mid sections of the game. Such a close game coming in, and it was just constant pressure by RAD basically meant that BoysBoys really had no options. Game 3 will be coming very, very shortly, guys. Stick around if you've joined me on Twitch. Hit that follow button. I'm not even going to cancel the stream. We'll just be back very shortly. I'll see you guys soon.